on to the next game. Raiders defeat the Eels. Raiders get the job done against the Eels. Post-match, Brad Arthur came out and basically said that they got dudded by a penalty count. And although I agree with Arthur in regards to they got dudded on some very poor calls, unfortunately, when you completed 68%, the calls aren't the reason that you lost. And I thought that I didn't... Although what's crazy is I agree with Brad Arthur. They got dudded. It is not best for the environment of the team to come out and say it publicly, and definitely not privately to the players when you completed 68%. Now, if they had completed at 90% or 85, let's say 85%, and he had said the same thing, I would have said, yeah, maybe he has a case. What was it, 10-3 penalty count? Maybe he has a case. But when you're completing at 68%, it's just, you can't be blaming the penalty count.
Refs were not the reason why they lost. I don't know. I don't know about you two, but I still thought the best team on the park won the game. And I don't think you can convince me otherwise. So, I didn't like the look from Brad Arthur either. I thought it was just wasn't called for. It's just a bad look.
Especially you completed 68%.
Yeah. Take care of your own backyard. And
then start looking at calls. And as I said, I agree. Some of those calls were outrageous. Like, oh my God. But it's not it wasn't the ref's fault that they lost.
I just hate when coaches come out and point out the penalty count. Like, let's even, obviously there's Raiders bias in this game. Maybe Parra got some dud calls. So it could have been any other game, but I hate when they do it because if it's a 10-3 penalty count, well, maybe your side was had ill discipline 7 more times than the opposition. Sometimes there might be genuine weeks where like, oh, they did get dud on a few calls, and maybe this is one of them weeks, but they always say lopsided penalty counts. Well, it's not going to be 50-50 every time because one team's not going to have the same discipline as the other team every single game.
And it comes around.
I think it's such a cop-out that, lopsided penalty count.
Yeah. Well, and it comes around too.
Yeah.
Like, you never see a coach come out on the winning side and say, we got 10 penalties, they got 3. That's bullshit. And so it's like...
Deal with it.
Yes. Even if you were right or you were wrong, unless you're completing at 85% and not missing tackles and not letting tries in, I thought it was the wrong tack from Brad. I did.
And they genuinely just didn't take advantage of the opportunities they had, I thought, Parramatta. There was one where they made a break down the right sideline. It was first, second tackle. They kicked the ball dead on the full from about 20 metres out.
Yeah.
5 line breaks to 2, Parra had.
So Eels, in regards to that, they were their own worst enemy. They had plenty of chances to win that game. But let's talk about the mighty Raiders first. Now, the Raiders are, 5 on the trot? Jeez, first of all, stoked?
Doesn't shut up about it.
No, seriously. So Raiders 5 on the trot. I want to give a rap to my man Fogarty. I just think he's been getting better and better each week, more confident, especially, the field goal he gets to win, couple of tries just now. And I think we're starting to see the benefit of combinations playing together for a long period of time. Now, I know Zach Warford, he went off with a HIA, I think. Did he? Didn't come back on, so he may not be available next week.
Danny Levi is due back potentially this week. So
okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's good. But from a Raiders perspective, they're just playing... When I watch them, I sit there going, holy, this is, they could run for a premiership. No, but they're so gritty and just brave with their efforts. Every week they make it a battle, and that's just Raiders footy.
And maybe not quite, premiership contenders, although we're getting there. We're playing some good footy, but just like last year, going into finals, you could be the best team in the comp. You'd hate to play us. If we continue this form, of course. Yeah. As we did, and we went into the final series last year on fire, towed up Melbourne week 1. We're gritty in week 2 of finals, but yeah, it's looking all right.
Mate, it's just... The good thing for the Raiders is you're in a way better position now than you were last year. Like last year we were 2-7, and you're sitting there going, "Oh my God, we might be fighting for the spoon here." Now you're sitting in the top 8, prepared to strike for the rest of the year. Again, that early portion of the year is so important because you put yourself in a position. If you get a couple of injuries, a few players out. On top of all of that, this year you get to keep Jackie Whiten. Josh Papali'i will probably, if he does get selected, play 20 minutes, max 20 minutes. Outside of that, you may get Hudson Young. Corey Horsburgh may be a victim of so many players in form.
But we've got a lot of forward depth as well.
A lot of forward depth.
He can step in and play some decent minutes.
Yeah. So you're really going to get through this origin period, especially with Jackie Whiten being available quite well. And so, put my hand up, probably 4 to 6 weeks? 4 weeks ago I said to Guru, I don't think that they'll make the 8. You said you thought
they'll win 5 on the trot.
Well, you still got a game to go because that was only 4 weeks ago. And you felt that they could make the 8 still?
Only because of what they did last year. But I wasn't confident. I wasn't willing to rule them out.
Yeah.
But I was far from... I didn't think they'd do this.
Well, to be fair, they hadn't done anything to suggest they were going to come good, had they? We weren't looking great. And we were coming off that 50-point loss to Penrith. And, we did sit there at the time and go, Penrith are just that good that they'll do this to teams, which we saw again on the weekend. So
I'll be bold and I'll say that still, if I had to put my 8 on the table right now, they wouldn't be in my 8. But I'm not confident in that statement. I'm not confident because it's this Raiders side. They're just gritty. I know the Eels are missing Mitchell Moses, but it's still a solid side.
You mentioned having Jack Whiten through the origin period now. That could be potentially an extra 2 wins on the trot through that period.
Absolutely.
So that, maybe that's the difference between finishing 8th and 9th end of the year.
Corey Horsburgh, let's talk about the big red. Well, one thing I did disagree with Ricky when we was
this is one of his best calls ever, I reckon.
So he comes out, great win for the club, and then he's like, last week, Latrell Mitchell hit someone in the head, didn't get a penalty, no 10 in the bin. Corey Horsburgh does the same thing, 10 in the bin. And I was like, you know what? Stick loves his players so much that he feels that those 2 incidences were the same. I'm just like, bruh, they were very different incidents. What did you who stood out for you? And what did you think of the Sticks comments?
I stand by Stick. I always stand by Stick, no matter what he says.
Stick. I love it.
Hudson Young was outstanding. He had that passage there. He had a second half try. He then had a really key strip at a time where Parra began to wrestle the momentum back a little bit, and he took it off him and just... How many big plays does Huddo Young come up with? And he knows he's in the origin frame, and they come up against Parramatta, who on their day have arguably, or maybe not the best pack in the NRL, but right up there. And I thought Canberra outplayed their pack, and Huddo Young, as far as an origin trial goes, pretty bloody good.
He doesn't get much better than that in regards to wide running forward. So would he be in the squad for all 3 of you?
Yes, he'd be in my squad without a doubt.
Definitely squad.
17.
He'd be in my 17 too, yeah.
Yeah, he's in my 17.
Wow, Hudson Young in a Blues jersey. Does look right.
Can I have my weekly Matty Timoko update?
Yeah.
Is this the most consistent 3 weeks of all time? He's so around 9, 10, 11. I'll say them in that order. Line breaks, 2, 1, 1. Tackle breaks, 6, 6, 7. Last 3 weeks, his run meters have been 200, 200, 201.
Oh, my God.
How wild is that?
That is fucking so wild. I mean, what a knock from the big fella. Well, little fella, I should say. He must be... Is he strongest pound for pound in the comp?
He'd have to be right up.
Because he is not big, eh?
No.
He's what, 5'10"?
He's a tank.
Yeah,
but he's pretty
he's
short.
5'10"?
Yeah.
He
183 centimetres.
Oh, really? So he's 6 foot?
Unless he's written it himself, yep.
Yeah. He looks smaller than 6 foot, don't you reckon?
To me, he does, yeah. 96 kilos.
Jesus. Oh, I thought he'd be smaller than that. I thought he'd be 5'10", 90 kilos. But that's pretty big, 96 kilos, 6 foot. Oh, not pretty big. I mean, it's actually it's average size for a footy player.
He's played 10 games this year. Four tries to 6 line breaks, 48 tackle breaks. Averaging almost 5 tackle breaks per game. And he's tackling at 92%.
And aside as well that, like I've said it before, crying out for a strike outside back.
Yeah.
And Timoko, he's become that man, hasn't he?
Oh, he genuinely breaks games open now.
And like you've got Mr. Reliable on the other edge of Jared Croker, but he's not going to break game open for you.
How good is Croker? Like, how did this happen? He was done.
How many wins on the trot for Croker in a bar? Gives a number?
I think it's 5, I think.
We're there.
We're there. No,
how good was Ricky Stewart's press conference? Obviously, he had the Corey Hawthorne one, but then like 4 times he pointed out to the media that Toots is here. You can also talk to him if you would like. Yeah. That was unreal.
Mate, what a great story, and just a reflection of such a good bloke. To swallow your pride, you are basically your 250 game veteran. I'm sure they had conversations with him like, mate, it might be time for you to hang her up.
Sticky said that he came out and said, I'll admit it, like I was not pushing for it, but like asking questions to Jared about, retirement, getting that injury dispensation or whatever it is. And I don't want to put words in Ricky's mouth, but it was along those lines of, he'd had conversations with him about it through his injury run.
And Croaks just said, no, I'm going to work hard.
Which, to Ricky's defence, I think it made complete sense at the time.
Yeah, and what I respect about Ricky is he's not lying about having that conversation. A lot of coaches would never admit to having that convo privately, but I think we could all agree, it's probably all felt that way with Croaks. With the amount of injuries he'd had, you'd be like, mate, you've had such a great career, but no one knows Croker better than Croker, and he has been so solid for them. And I do think, remember when he first got dropped, and I was talking about the intangibles that he brings to this side, I think that we're starting to see that. He may not have 300 metres, 250 metres, 200 metres, 10 tackle breaks to try, but there's an intangible that he delivers to the Raiders.
He's like just covering him behind the line. Whenever there's a kick going behind the line, he'll sweep to the other side of the field and just be there every time. Whenever there's a line break and people are scrambling to get there, he's always there.
Yeah.
They're the intangibles where the real intangibles are like, what does he bring to this side? Players want to get up for him and play for him as their skipper. So, I don't want to put the mocker on him, but let's say that he gets to his 300th game, 3 away. Yeah. Hopefully he does. He may not. There's no mock here. But surely it'll be against the Tigers if we were to play 3 on the trot. Tigers at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. Bloke in a bar, live show from Campbelltown.
Holy shit. I thought you were going to say like a little segment or something on the show on Monday, a whole live show.
Live show from Campbelltown.
God. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit much, but we'll try and get Croaks in a
Ballpark, something along those lines.
A live show at Campbelltown. Well, I'll reach out to the Tigers and I'll see if they can put us up on the hill there for an away players live show. One of your best there. Anyone else stood out for you guys for the Raiders?
I know he didn't play last week, I'm pretty sure it was, but Albert Hopoate. I love the look of him.
He's a beast, eh?
He's a gun. Yeah. Takes tough carries too.
Absolutely loves it. Absolutely loves it. We've already kind of spoken about the Eels, so we'll just get quickly past this. But
Jermaine Hopgood scored a try. Don't skip that. We are in round 11. I have had a punt on Hopgood to score a try for the 10 weeks leading up to this with Sportsbet, and this is the 1 week at 9.50. I didn't get on.
No,
it's because you're a dog. That's why.
Yeah, no, I know.
You should be angry at yourself. No one else. You dogged Hopgood, and you got what you deserved. He could feel it in the air. He felt it.
Hurt me a lot.
You know what? He felt it, and he said, I'm going to show that guru what loyalty really feels like. And he's going to score a meaty, so next time stay loyal to the great Jaman.
By the way, you share a birthday with him. How good's that?
Yeah, I do. May 11th, the great guru messaged me, said, happy birthday. You share a birthday with Jaman Hopgood?
Didn't say that to Jermaine. Just said happy birthday to him.
Yeah, just happy birthday with a picture of him smiling and actual present. No present for me. No. Look, back to the Eels. Disappointing performance. I thought Dylan Brown had some moments where he looked like he was going to get him back into the game. But there's not really much to say. It was just that they had more line breaks. Hopgood obviously got through a bunch of work, but they just didn't. The loss of Sean Lane is quite dramatic for them because he's so part of that grand final push.
He hadn't, in his defence, Lane, he'd come back from a lengthy enough injury, but it was a broken jaw. He hadn't looked terrific this season. He certainly wasn't anything close to, last year was such a career year for Sean Lane where he was in that origin conversation. Because he was such a focal point of their attack on that left edge. You were sort of hoping he could come in and they'd rediscover that form, but he wasn't quite there. So now a hammy injury, it's going to set him back again. He'll be gone for at least a few weeks, you'd imagine, that left edge. And I thought maybe I'm being a little bit critical on Dylan Brown, but we sort of spoke about last week how he was going to go with Mitch Moses there. I would have liked him to step up and taken control of that the side a bit more than he did. How do you boys feel about him?
I think that he's like told not to though.
Yeah, okay.
Like I reckon
Plays the 5'8" still.
Plays the 5'8" still.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, if he's been told to and he isn't, then I 100% agree with you. Because he still ran for 140 metres, had a try assist. He had 13 runs, a try assist, 19 tackles.
He had 5 runs after 55 minutes, I think it was, and he sort of, towards the back end of the game, he started to try and assert himself a bit more, which is good.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe I'm being a little bit critical on him, but I was sort of hoping to be the game without Moses where he stepped up and went bang on.
Well, he is the next guy up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think it's too critical at all. I think that if you're looking for a guy in the spine, like he's the next guy up. Now, again, if he's being told by Brad Arthur, you know, let Jacob lead the team around and you just play the same role as you normally play, then fair enough.
This story starts and finishes with Tim not being happy with his Supercoach score, by the way. Let's call it as it is.
Hey, he's been very good to me this season, Dylan Brown, as Supercoach, so it's not...
The Josh Hodgson hands situation. Where are we at with that? Is Hodgson being unfairly kind of maligned for bad form for the Eels, or do you think that there is a bit of a...
I actually thought, this is a standalone game, the conversation around it all season, there's, genuine arguments say hands maybe, plays a few more minutes, but I thought in this game alone, Hodjo brought a lot of energy in this one, particularly early on. It was obviously the first game back in Canberra against his old club. I thought he brought a lot early on in this game.
Yeah, I thought he looked good, but I do think it's a standalone. I still like hands.
Like hands? Yeah, all right. I am... in my opinion, like last year, I stuck with the Eels through and through. I'm not in the same space with them this year. I'm actually a bit concerned about them this year.
Come get him, Parramatta fans. Leave me alone. After him.
No, I'm a bit concerned. They don't look like... There's just something missing. There's something missing. And they've had a hard start to the season, for sure. But that extra punch, that like when you really look at what they've lost, Korfusi, Papali'i, Reid Marnie... Now, I know other teams have lost key players, but I just think that the Para haven't really been able to replace them. Now that Sean Lane has been injured, so got to give him credit there, but I do think that they haven't been as fortunate as other clubs in replacing these players yet. Like, we're hitting round 12 at the moment, and we're still unsure whether Hodgson's minutes are too much, too little, not enough. So I'm a bit
The centres still worry me weekly.
Well, Pensini, I love Pensini, but the other side, unfortunately, it's just...
With Lane gone now, Maddo probably goes back to an edge.
Yeah.
They lose a bit more through the middle. You've already got RCG out, so...
Yeah, I don't know. They don't fill me with as much confidence that they can just definitely get up for the big games as they did last year. Whereas last year, you just knew that when they wanted to, they'll turn it on. Whereas this year, I'm a bit concerned.
Take on South this week. If they lose that one, I'll be very worried about them.
Give them one. I mean, I know they haven't been great all season, but no Mitchy Moses, obviously their go-to player. So,
oh yeah, for this game specifically, you can look to it.
but
But I think from a season's perspective, like they're sitting
14th
right now, and I'll reserve judgment, but I definitely am concerned.